Guys, welcome back to another episode of Genshin Impact. And today we're going to War House. Way, my favorite drunk bard. Oh no, this is bad. Venti, did you get yourself busted?
Huh? It's you! Why are you here?
I'm here on behalf of the Tenryou Commission, of course. Is that surprising?
No, Sarah, Paimon wasn't talking about you!
Yep.
So, tone-deaf bard. The suspicious outlander in the warehouse wouldn't happen to be you, would it?
Considering the evidence, it appears that the suspicious outlander is indeed me.
As I have told you, you are a suspect. Before your allegations of theft and illegal entry as a stowaway are cleared, you are to remain silent. Don't make me say it again. Traveler,
But I am a
Paimon,
humble bard.
do you know this self-proclaimed bard from Mondstadt?
You could say we're quite familiar.
Listen, Sarah. Knowing him, it's safe to say that he wasn't behind the theft. But what's this about being a stowaway?
Although he claims to be a special guest for the Iridori Festival, he's failed to present his invitation letter. Therefore, we can only suspect that he might have entered the country illegally. And just a moment ago, we caught him in a dandelion wine crate near the Sailing Breeze.
Could we ask him a few questions?
If it would help shed any light on the situation, then please, be my guest.
Oh, Venti! You didn't really come here illegally, did you?
Ouch! Your words wound me. We've been apart for so long, and the moment we meet again, all I'm greeted with is grilling questions and suspicious glares.
I honestly love Venti.
You arrived in Inazuma via similar means, or so I heard. You of all people should be more understanding, don't you think?
Yeah, so you came here
Similar
illegally.
means?
Let's not bring up the past now.
I merely jest. Fear not, for the person who sent me the invitation is none other than Kamisato Ayato of Yashiro Commission. It's unlikely that someone acquainted with the likes of him would ever be here illegally, right?
But why weren't you on the same ship as the other bards?
Well, once I received the invitation letter, I couldn't help but want to come to Inazuma a little early. It was then that I happened upon a cargo ship bound for Inazuma transporting dandelion wine. So, naturally, I decided to set sail with them. Once aboard, I found the captain to be a kindred spirit, and I was treated to an abundance of fine liquor along the way. I must have fallen asleep in the cargo crate while carefully comparing the tastes of dandelion wine and Inazuman sake. And when I woke up, I found myself in this warehouse with a Tenryou Commission general glaring at me from atop the grate.
Coming from Venti, this story is quite believable.
Shameless, bro.
Excuse me, I'm the owner of the stolen goods from the IA publishing house, and there are some questions I would like to ask you. Based on what you just said, it seems you've been in the warehouse for some time now. If that's the case, did you happen to hear anything unusual?
Sorry, Hirayama. I don't think he...
Actually, I did hear
Was
some
in a drunken
faint
stupor.
footsteps around me a couple of times, but I didn't consider the sound anything out of the ordinary.
But if you clearly heard something, why didn't you feel it was unusual?
Oh, I seem to understand now.
Huh? What did you notice, Albedo?
When it comes to burglars, they are generally associated with prying or rummaging through things. What Venti means is that he did not hear anything unusual like that. As for the sound of footsteps, because this is a warehouse where many goods are coming in and out each day, it is quite normal for people to be walking around.
I see. But if that's the case, then we're back to square one regarding the stolen books.
No, not quite. From the facts that have been presented to us, we can draw at least 3 conclusions now. First, whoever took the novels is not a spur-of-the-moment burglar. They had their sights on the books from the very beginning. Second, the culprit was very familiar with the warehouse, and might even have a key. And third...
There must be more than one criminal.
I knew you'd catch on, Traveler.
Trevor.
One person couldn't possibly
Okay.
transport so many heavy books in such a short window of time. It must have been a team effort. It goes without saying that Venti clearly does not match up with our culprits.
Yes, I agree with your reasoning. Mr. Hirayama, the Tenryo Commission will continue by investigating the warehouse staff. If you come across any further clues, please notify us immediately.
Yes, understood. I'll leave it to you then.
I suppose I'm free as a bird then.
Not so fast. Even though we've cleared the theft allegations, we still haven't ascertained whether your arrival in Inazuma was legal or not.
Aw, 'tis a shame. I thought surely after my honest account you might let me off the hook.
Sara's quite the meticulous one. So, where's your invitation letter, Venti?
Yes, the invitation letter. I'm truly sorry. I can't seem to remember where I may have put it.
Venti, you drunken ass bastard.
How could you lose something so important?
Don't be mistaken. I was well aware of how important it was. But I didn't bring any luggage with me, and the letter was too big to fit in my pocket.
Yeah,
so
look at them
I
short
kept
shorts,
it in
bro.
my hand the whole trip. Strange. Though I had a little too much to drink, I know that I kept it in a secure place. I even recall being most pleased at coming up with a good idea at the time.
If you were holding the invitation in your hand the whole time, then why did you put it down?
Well, to
freaking out.
properly compare the taste of Mondstadt wine and Inazuman sake, I had to hold a glass in each hand. I couldn't both hold the invitation and a glass at the same time. But surely I wouldn't put it in just any random place. It could easily be misplaced.
I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like him and my mom would get along a lot. He likes music, she likes music. Both of them tend to drink every now and again. Well, she tends to drink every now and again. He tends to drink a lot. Hey, bro,
In
like,
which case, I believe there's only one place it could be. Have you figured it out, traveler?
Huh? You're way ahead of Paimon. Didn't
and
you
me.
already know where the invitation letter is?
In his hat.
Ah, yes! I remember now. I knew you'd help me find it.
Honestly, that makes so much sense, actually.
This is indeed an invitation letter issued by the Yashiro Commission. Now that we've confirmed this guest's identity, I have no further questions. However, starting tonight, I would advise you to stay at the International Trade Association. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be leaving now.
There goes Sara. All right, let's go talk to Mr. Hirayama about Albedo's reference materials.
This is Venti. I need my Venti cup.
Mr. Hirayama,
Oh, there's Venti.
I'm
This
Calx.
is vibin'.
We had originally arranged to meet today.
Ah, yes, so you are, Calx. I'm very sorry that you've arrived in Inazuma only to find such a mess.
Good thing that he's
These are the
really
materials
smart.
regarding the 5 Kassen. All the information that we could find is compiled here.
Okay, blah, blah, blah. You can... I'm gonna stand here for a second. Pause, read it. Pause, read it. Pause, read it. Pause, read it.
Let's see here. Yes, it's just as I had suspected. Monikers such as Suiko and Aoi no Okina aren't the real names of the 5 Kassen. Though there were once many stories regarding each of the 5 Kassen, the validity of their contents can no longer be verified in present times. Alas, what a shame. But, at the very least, we know that most of the stories were written according to a similar style, so there is still something we may glean from this.
So, is the info useful for your paintings, Albedo?
To some extent, yes. However, I must admit that it is still lacking and fails to fulfill the most crucial element. Inspiration.
I am sorry that this information is not as exhaustive as you had hoped. However, it is not possible to gather anything more at the moment. Though Lady Yae did say that there are many variations of the story about the 5 Kassen, and everyone has a different story in their heart. So all you need to do is follow through with what's in your own heart and create something that you yourself find interesting.
That does sound like something Rico would say.
Thank you, Mr. Hirayama. No need to worry. I'll find inspiration for the portraits.
Great. I'll leave it to you then, Calx. Oh, and there's one more thing I need to ask of everyone. Tomorrow morning, Mr. Genyu, the author of A Legend of Sword, will be arriving in Inazuma by boat. If you see him, please do not mention the stolen novels for the time being. Whether the stolen books are eventually recovered or not, the IA Publishing House will do its best to ensure that the novel's release is a success.
I get it now.
You have my gratitude. I'll be going then.
Well, seems there's nothing more we can do here. Let's go. Huh? Venti? What are you doing over there? You don't want us to leave you behind, do you?
Traveler, Albedo, would you mind coming over here for a moment? There's something peculiar that I think you should see.
Venti, what do you need?
What is it, Venti? A piece of paper?
Indeed. When I awakened to find myself in the warehouse this morning, I discovered this paper in the cargo crate where I was sleeping. I didn't think much of it then. I thought it was merely a scrap piece of paper that had fallen into the cargo. After a quick glance, I stuffed it into a place nearby. But on second thought, I think it's worth having you take a look at what's written on it.
Okay, mine dwelling was far from the wider world, but for my fame, my peace was disturbed in the blue cloud. I went before Tenchukaku to present my work, but his work was missing a page. I knelt and begged for divine wrath to be stilled, and I told what I knew of it, how it was lost. The previous night I had been drunk, then a person's shadow had passed over me. Some treacherous scoundrel must have stolen the poem leading to my...
Let me see. Suiko chapter. Wait a minute. Isn't Suiko the name of one of the 5 Kasen?
The story told in this poem roughly boils down to Suiko getting tipsy and letting some poems that were meant for the shogun get stolen. Ah, this story sounds familiar to my ear. Where have I heard it?
Seriously? It's literally the same story you just experienced yesterday.
Oh, indeed it is. Interesting, isn't it?
It almost seems related to the stolen novels.
Yes, I concur. The person who left this paper could quite possibly be the criminal, or even a witness to the theft. But why leave the paper here in such a fashion? And if the one who left it here was a witness, why didn't they attempt to stop the burglary?
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Meeting together in Inazuma like this is a most rare occasion. Since we've been busy from the start of the day, let us find an inn with good drink to keep our thirst at bay.
Hey! You just sobered up and you're already thinking about more drinks? And let's not forget that Albedo still has a portrait to complete. We don't have time to be slacking off.
No, it's fine. Let's all go for a drink together. It'll be my treat.
Wait a minute. What about your portrait?
As I mentioned before, I'm the kind of artist who can work quickly once I'm inspired. And now, it seems I've found my source of inspiration. If I use a model as reference for the piece, we must pay him back with the appropriate recompense.
In that case, we'll need to order more dishes. One year, the poet Suiko made his way to Tenchukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated.
Wow, you really came through, Albedo. You were able to complete the first portrait before the opening ceremony.
Man, why does Suiko look uncannily familiar to a somewhat green bard that I have no idea who it is?
Yes, it really is a sight to behold. Not only does it harken to the traditional style of Inazuma, but it also makes use of modern aesthetics. My figure is particularly striking. Even though I'm sound asleep in the portrait, I still appear as glorious as always.
Classic
Hey,
Venti.
don't get too full of yourself, Tone Deaf Bard. You were just a model. The person in the artwork isn't actually you. Well, Albedo, who will be
I
your
can actually
next
see
portrait?
Venti doing that though.
The next one will be Aoi no Okina of the Five Kasen.
Albedo, might I suggest waiting a little before starting on the next one? Who knows? You might soon discover another story.
Another story?
I believe he's referring to the possibility of finding another paper with tales of the Five Kasen. According to the reference materials I was given, we've only found the first of a total of 4 chapters.
Do you think the mysterious person who left the first paper will strike again?
It certainly is a possibility. Also, there are some points regarding the stories of the Five Kasen that have left me rather curious. For example, the reference materials make mention of 5 legendary figures, yet all the popular stories only consist of 4 parts. It appears that throughout all the stories, there is never a chapter dedicated to Kuronushi.
Yes, I'm also curious about these stories myself. But who knows? They may merely be akin to the old saying in Mondstadt. Seeds of stories brought by the wind and cultivated by time. So for now, we need but just wait patiently.
The first act is concluded.
Who is this Genyu?
Make sure you get in line early to buy your special edition drinks.
I have no idea what's going on. It's only been 17 minutes, so. I'm doing the wrong quest.
Iridori Festival. Events
Welcome
venue.
to the magnificent Iridori Festival.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
I want them to cower in fear as I stand over top of them, intimidating them. Gog. I die in a cloak.
The passenger ship from Lyra that we're supposed to meet should be arriving soon. Let's go to the docks. You know that Shinjo will be on board, right? So we should be careful not to say anything about the stolen novels.
Okay, tell him about all the stolen novels. Got it, man. I'll do that. Chincho. Oh.
Hi there! You must be visiting from Lyra to participate in the Iridori Festival. We'll be your guides and we'll take you onto the island. Huh? Is it Paimon or have we met somewhere before?
Oh.
Yes, in fact we
Shu.
have. I'm Shu from Feiyun Commerce Guild. Aboard this ship we have calligraphers, painters, and even players of Theater Mechanicus. The inventor of Theater Mechanicus previously came to the Feiyun Commerce Guild seeking investment. Although the guild manager was not interested, the master still wanted to support them. We heard that they'd be demonstrating the game and letting people try Theater Mechanicus at the Iridori Festival. So the guild manager instructed Master and I to take the opportunity to come to Inazuma and investigate the product's potential.
Oh, speaking of which, where's the young master?
Master, he's,
Whoa, Xingqiu's just sitting there, sound asleep.
What? Oh. It's the traveler in Paimon.
That was me
I
like
presume
5
you are
hours
guests
ago.
in Inazuma as well? It seems fate has destined our paths to cross once again.
Oh, we aren't actually guests. We're actually guides for the Iridori Festival.
Seem a little down, man.
Please, no need to worry. I was a little too caught up in a novel on the voyage here. When I finally realized what time it was, the first rays of dawn were already peeking over the horizon. Yes, now that we've arrived, the Kanjo Commission will likely wish to inspect our invitation letter. Let's keep it in hand, shall we? Huh? That's odd.
What's wrong?
There was a piece of paper underneath my bag. Strange. I don't recall seeing it there before.
Ooh, let Paimon have a look.
Glorious court life was my youth, my old age, a moonlit haze. I had not wished to behave so treacherously, but my life was certain. I don't want to work, I don't want to clothes. I do not understand the reason behind all this that has happened, only that the mysterious person's madness must be reversed. The poem is dedicated to Akihito, who, to my great set of the revenge.
There's no doubt about it. It's from the same series as the story we found before. Even the handwriting looks exactly the same.
The story you found before?
Oh, yeah! In the warehouse down by the... by the poem hunt competition!
That is
yeah,
a face
that's
of...
it. A friend of ours is
Don't
on retail
shut
to
up.
paint portraits of the 5 Kasen. You know, as part of the Iridori Festival. Poetic stories about the 5 Kasen have been hidden in various places nearby. If you can find one of the stories and give it to this friend of ours, then there's a chance you'll become the model for the next portrait.
Wait a moment. So you mean that...
Why am I troubled? Horrible making up stories.
Hey, it's hard coming up with stuff on the spot like that.
There's a chance of meeting Calx in person?
Yeah, you could say that.
Really? That's wonderful! I knew that Calx would attend the Irodori Festival, but convincing my father to let me come to Inazuma was proving to be quite the high hurdle. I had to really rack my mind to come up with the excuse of evaluating the investment value of Theater Mechanicus. Just a few days later, word then came that Calx would be busy painting portraits of the 5 Kasen during the festival. It is a most rare opportunity for both Calx and I to be in Inazuma together, but it seemed he would be too busy with the portraits to meet with me. So, I felt quite disappointed for some time now.
Don't worry, Xingqiu. Even though Calx has work to do, he still has time to see friends. We can take you to see him right now. Also, we heard that Calx did illustrations for your A Legend of Sword novel.
Huh, so you've already heard. To be honest, my works have drawn little interest in Liyue. However, the novels are selling quite well in Inazuma with the help of Calx's beautiful illustrations. Calx is not only a skilled artist, but he also carries out his craft with great alacrity. I heard that it took him merely a few hours to finish the illustrations for the latest chapter. But when I looked at the art, the brushwork did not even look the slightest bit rushed. His work is truly exquisite. Oh my, I was beginning to get carried away there. Let us depart, quickly now.
Luckily, the idea of meeting Albedo managed to draw Xingqiu's attention and keep the situation under wraps. Let's just hope we don't let anything slip while meeting Albedo.
Let's go. I guess I should equip Xingqiu. I need to upgrade him real quick though, so that he doesn't die in like one hit because he's level 33.
May knowledge guide you.
I can level him up more, but I know that. That is... That is a stupidly long cooldown. Like, honestly, bro, like, that is probably the worst cooldown I've ever seen. Noelle makes sense. Xingling makes sense. Trevor makes sense. Chincho
Traveler,
makes
hi.
no damn sense.
How are you? And who is this accompanying you?
You must be Calx. It's a great pleasure to finally meet you. I am the author of A Legend of Sword, forgive me. It's rude of me to introduce myself by my pen name when meeting in person. Please, call me Xingqiu.
And you may call me Albedo, then.
No, that would be most improper.
Why not? Seeing as we're both friends of the
Trevor.
Traveler, it'd be more convenient for us to use our real names. Besides, we've already corresponded with each other many times before. In fact, I feel a bit self-conscious seeing you act so politely.
It's not just you, Albedo. We haven't seen Xingqiu act this awkward before either.
I learned some new tips on manners today.
You guys, it's certainly not good taste for you two to be teasing me like that. Oh, by the way, we happened to find a story from the poem hunt competition at the docks. I heard that you are collecting them.
Poem hunt?
You know, that thing where we have to find pieces of paper with stories of the five cousin? Venti found one, and then he was allowed to be a model for one of your portraits.
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right.
I completely forgot about the poem hunt.
Oh, we understand the story now. Thank you. It's very helpful.
Splendid. Though, I'm still piecing together the story myself. Would you kindly explain it to me in more detail?
If all of you are free, well, why don't we discuss this over a meal?
Well, about that.
Do you have other plans, Xingqiu?
No, not at all. Speaking of dining, Shimura's unagi chasuke is quite delicious. Would you like to go there?
Shimura's. Unfortunately, today is a bit windy. How about Uyu Restaurant instead?
That's perfectly fine with me. But I must first unpack my luggage. Let's meet later at Uyu Restaurant.
Something didn't quite add up just now.
Huh? No way! Paimon thinks we acted well together. Oh, did we say something we weren't supposed to?
No, Paimon, I'm not referring to us. Traveler, what are your thoughts?
Jincho was a little suspicious.
Huh? Xingqiu's suspicious? Hey, what are you two talking about?
Paimon, you read the poem, right? Although it may seem confusing to Xingqiu on its own, what if we read it together with a previous poem we found?
Read them together? Let's see. Suiko lost Aoi no Okina's poem in a drunken stupor. So, Aoi no Okina recovered the poem and gave it to some mysterious person. Huh? Wait a minute. Could today's story be hinting that the one who stole the latest copies of A Legend of Sword is Xingqiu himself? No way! That can't be right! Xingqiu only arrived in Inazuma this morning!
And that is precisely the point of suspicion. If Xingqiu had only just arrived in Inazuma, how could he recommend Shimura's Chasuke? Moreover, he didn't raise any questions when I suggested another place because of the windy weather. This means he knows that Shimura's is an open-air restaurant.
Are you saying that Xingqiu has already been in Inazuma for some time? And that he's only pretending he just arrived?
Yes, that is indeed my conclusion.
But how could Xingqiu be the book thief? His mission is to fight for justice, isn't it? There's no way he'd do something against his own ideals.
Calm down, Paimon. Even though this is the first time I've met Xingqiu in person, We've communicated via letters for some time now. I do have some understanding of his character. I think there must be some deeper motive at play here. The story also tells us that Aoi no Okina flees with a poem because of a threat.
Oh? Could Shinjo be in danger?
It's difficult to say at this point. But given that Uyu Restaurant is indoors, it'll be easy for us to detect anyone following or eavesdropping on us. I think it should be safe for us to talk there. I'll be relying on your assistance to get to the bottom of this matter. Good. Then let's head to Uyu Restaurant.
Make sure you get in line early to buy your special edition
Who is
drinks.
this Jinyu everyone keeps talking about?
Okay, we're gonna end the episode off here. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Remember to like and subscribe.